Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. So let's take a look at Mattel's Masters of the Universe new Eternia King Randor figure. I've been waiting quite a bit for this figure, but it's been on my pile of loot. So I really do like... Oh, wow. Look, Queen Marlena in her spacesuit. But she's a younger Queen Marlena, right? That's Queen Marlena, I think. And this is Randor. So this Randor is not wearing the court like formal dress, but what? Why is he bald over there? Is King Randor wearing a wig all this time? I don't know. That's so funny. Let's go ahead and open him up and let's see what's going on. All right, so I have King Randor out of the packaging. This is the main figure. You have a sword. You have a crown with a wig on, or well, and a scepter. So let's take a look at King Randor first. You know what? Let's do a close up on the head while we're here anyway. So there's King Randor over here. Really nice paint application. I'm kind of glad that companies are paying as much attention to the paint application on the faces now. It's not photoreal or anything, but really nice and crisp lines. You know, it still has a cartoon look, but again, it's just the application that I really do appreciate that they're paying attention to on it. Here's the chest. You can see there's actually some sort of surface detailing here on the chest, our emblem of the cross. Same thing here as well. Look at that, almost like a pitted metal surface look. If you look at the chest armor over here, it's actually two types of red paint. It's possible that this part right here is just bare red plastic and then they painted the surface over here. But at the same time, what I want to say is that why did they even need to do that? I'm so impressed with Mattel that they still did that instead of like what happened here. Obviously two types of material, more leathery fabric here, and yet this is just bare plastic. They didn't paint this part over here. So I'm glad they did that on the chest armor because it really makes it stand out quite a bit. And really nice work here. This nice blue that they put on, so striking. Then this one, I kind of wish, like if they were gonna do this anyway, I think this is painted. Yeah, it has to be because, like I said, I think the plastic is colored red. But this one, oops. But this one, see how this one, I'm not sure if this is painted gold or just this is the natural look of the plastic. I really kind of wish that they had done this for this, the shin parts, because this has that, how do you call it? This type of plastic I just feel like this has a more solid color than this one. Yeah. And going back, and then you have this part over here, which is part of the thing. Oh, here's the armor piece. Look at that, the detail in this one. Honestly, if you really want to make this pop, you could put some shadowing on this one, another paint application layer of the gold. But honestly, the way it is out of the box, I'm so impressed. I really do love what Mattel is doing with this line. This is one of the reasons why I never liked this design of their elbow, where you can't straighten out the hand. Yes, it looks normal, and you never have, I don't know, I have mine, even though it's relaxed, it's more straighter than this. And I only mention that because look at what's going on here in on this part, which is like, you can see it's bent. I kind of wish it just has a little bit more, like a little bit more straight. And there's, oh, here's the back. Look, they even painted the back. Jeez. Take note, McFarlane. Even painted the back the way it should be, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the sword over here. Look at that. I think this is painted. Look at that's really, really nice. Take note, Hasbro, paint your swords. So I'm not just digging on McFarlane about those paint applications. I'm also digging at Hasbro because Mattel is doing a hell of a job. And here's the scepter. All right, now that we've taken a look, close-up look on Randor, let's take off the helmet. The helmet, I forgot to show it off though. So this is rubbery, but not hard plastic. So it does have a give, so it's not gonna hopefully break off. So in the portrait, in the painting, which is kind of weird. I don't know if it's intentional or not, where he's being shown off as bald, which is kind of funny because now you think, I wonder why would he even portray him like that when he's bald. It makes it seems like he's actually wearing a wig on the show, and I wonder if the artist just made a mistake. But then again, maybe I don't know, because technically, if this had been just for show, this removal of the hair, then they would have put a key in here. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this one. But here's the head with this one. I like the look of this one, but at the same time, I really do like the look of this one as well. Like a little bit lower. Yeah, that's nice. Honestly, I think he shouldn't have. They should have not have made him bald and just put a key in here, because this tends to keep falling off and riding off. And the same thing with this one. If there's a key, then it would have been more nicer. But yeah, oh my gosh. I don't have King Randor on the Masters on the Universe Classics. This is the first time I've ever had a King Randor figure, and I am loving it. Before I go into the figure, obviously you have the sword over here and you have the scepter, but as you guys can see, you can actually connect this too. So now you have, what do you call this, a halberd or something? I can't remember what this type of weapon is called. It's not just a staff, because this has a longer blade. But man, I'm surprised they did this. This is amazing. All it needs is shield, but technically this is a shield. I really do love this one too, though. Articulation wise, does it have? No, it does not have a joint at the bottom of the neck. All that movement you're seeing is off of the joint at the top. That allows a little bit of up, a little bit of down, a little bit of sideways. I'm going to remove that because that's going to keep falling off on me. We'll use this one to show off the articulation on the shoulder, because obviously this is going to be in the way, but it's nice though that you can still, because of how they design these things, it's designed almost like a real armor, where it's got interconnecting plates here. And look at that, the way they design the armor, it's hardly causing any kind of interruption to the articulation. It's still almost pulling off a complete T-joint on the other side as well. This is basically the same articulation as any Masters of the Universe figure. Bicep, sidestep, and sideways, and I'm kind of sad that happened. So even though this is double jointed, unlike with the Star Wars, who's single jointed, because look at that, that's all it can do, barely a 90. So Mattel, if you're listening, I would look at how Black Series is doing their elbow articulation, because it's so much more nicer than what you guys are doing. And they're just on a one articulation. This is basically two joints, but it's still limited. Huh. And for the wrist side twist, and then this is a up and down movement, as you can see. You should be able to pull this off if you really want to. It has now the thicker pegs, the newer thicker pegs, and pull this off if you really want to. Yeah, that's a solid peg. You're not going to be afraid of anything going on with that one. As for the waist, you have a waist swivel there. And then for the it does have a drop down joint on the hip to leg joint. It does have a thigh cut, so your legs can move up to 90, sideways 90, turn on the thigh completely around, double jointed on the knees, gives you the 90, and come on, a little bit more, a lot more. You have a boot cut over here. Of course, you also have this as a removable. And as for the ankle, nice ankle going down, good enough going up, and of course an ankle rocker. So let's see, what can we remove? Can we remove this? Yes, so you can remove that. So if you don't want the cape, and the cape is nice, has a nice weight to it. So if you just want him like this, you can definitely pose him as just a complete ready to do battle. I want to take him down to as low as you can, because I kind of wonder if you can actually display him as just King Randor. The armor, of course, is removable. I'm assuming the head must be removable as well. Yeah, because there's no clasp on the top, so the only way to remove this is to just like that. And of course you can remove this right here. Honestly, this is a really good figure. It really is. And I'm not down to the value yet, right? But I believe this is $20 or $22. But I would be willing to pay 30-ish dollars, an additional $10, if this figure had actually come with a tunic, so that I can remove the armor and put on Randor as he would be in his royal garments. Because this thing is so close, all he needs is the upper part, right? Wait, because I think in this part he was, no, this is still good. Yeah, if I could have just removed this whole thing out and just have him that, that puffy upper chest thing as fabric. Oh my gosh, if this had been fabric, that would have been so cool. And I could have had a Randor that's in his palace garments. That would have been so cool. This one, I think, yeah, just slip that off, put this back in there, and I guess maybe there's something I can find online where somebody has done an upper garment for him and just have him like in some sort of palace robes. Because as good as the warrior version of Randor is, this is also, it would be nice to have him in his kingly attire as well. Look at that. So that's Randor out of his royal armor. I love the fact that for this particular line, Masters of the Universe, that Mattel has kept the ability of removing the armor and putting it back on. Yes, it's a compromise because you tend to see a much more bulkier part, because it's, if it had been sculpted in, it would have been more cohesive to the design. But I believe that the benefit of the play feature of the exact same thing what I'm doing now, what I'm putting on his armor, I like that, because then it adds to kind of like the fantasy, like, oh, okay, this is King Randor being fitted for his armor before he goes off into battle. I like that. I mean, it adds to the fantasy and everything of playing with this one. And like I said again, I think they should have just made a key for this one so this would fit in properly. I just don't like the fact that Randor is bald at this point, so it's almost seems like he's wearing a wig, and I don't like that idea at all. Um, he only comes with the one set of hands, but man, oh man, displaying Randor like this, not just with a sword and not just with a scepter, but with this type of weapon. What a badass, man. Look at this. Look at that. There's a king that you don't want to cross ever at all. There's a warrior king. No kidding. So Randor value, base price 10 equaling to, I believe, $22 or $22.95. Value for this one, I'm gonna say starting at 12 because I'm really happy I got him. I finally got a Randor figure, but I'm really surprised that the interchangeability of the two helms and this weapon over here is awesome. Really awesome. I'm gonna say 14. This is a figure that you really need in your Masters of the Universe lineup, New Eternia. And this is not just the soft king that's on the throne. This is a warrior king. This is an awesome figure. I really wish that there had been a way to switch out the armor. It's already there to his palace garments because that's also kind of in the older cartoons we see Randor more as a kingly um, persona, never in this type, right? So that's the only drawback. But I would say 14, definitely 14. You need to get this figure for your collection just to finish it off. Now I'm just waiting for Queen Marlena to add on there. But yeah, what an amazing figure. I'm glad I got it. And so that's it for my review of King Randor. What an awesome figure. I hope you guys get him. It's there's just no disappointments or nothing at all that I would think of that's flawed in this figure. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys again on the next video. Bye.